that I declare COVID-19 over as a global health emergency.
This week, after 3 years and nearly 4 months, our COVID public health emergency came to an end. But there was no mission accomplished banner, no celebratory phone call.
We did it, Joe.
For many Americans, this crisis was over months ago when vaccine rates plummeted and the masks came off indoors.
It's just not working for families. We're too stressed out.
For others, the pain of the virus will likely never go away.
Do you feel forgotten?
I felt forgotten. I felt forgotten in 2020.
This week on The Race, we explore the so-called end of the emergency and the questions that remain about COVID.
All right, I'm texting her that we're almost there and on our way. We're in Atlanta. We're about to go interview a woman who I first spoke with about 2 years ago. She was one of the first people I thought about when it was announced that the COVID public health emergency would be ending, because while many have moved on, she says COVID is going to impact her for the rest of her life. Hey, Marjorie, how are you? It's been a couple of years. Marjorie Roberts is a COVID-19 long hauler.
In 2021, when I saw you last, I thought maybe, it's gonna rebound.
She caught the virus in March 2020.
What are your symptoms today?
I still deal with what we call brain fog. I still have the COVID, the crashes. That's when you just don't know. All of a sudden, you just start feeling like blah.
She said she's never been the same. Today, she still needs to test her blood pressure and oxygen levels at home.
So this is going to be 2 of my companions for the rest of my life, because when your oxygen level drops, this lets you know.
The medical records Roberts shared with me showed doctors found not only damage to her lungs, but lesions on her liver and one of her kidneys. She also lost several teeth, a symptom the National Institutes of Health found can be associated with COVID-19.
They're all dead. They're all destroyed.
All your teeth?
All of my teeth.
Roberts has multiple doctor's appointments every month. She's offered support to others living with long COVID as a patient representative with the Recover Initiative, an effort using more than $1 billion from Congress to better understand and treat long COVID. The Department of Health and Human Services sent me a statement saying the end of the public health emergency won't impact research into long COVID, and clinical trials to find treatments will begin in the weeks to come. For all the ways Roberts says long COVID has impacted her life, doctors still don't know the reason why.
They really don't know. They trying to figure it out, but they don't know.
She says COVID's impact on her body and her mind forced her to retire last year from her work as a certified life coach. Her Doctor of Business Administration degree is still on her wall.
I was on top of the world. I was there. I was Dr. Marjorie Elizabeth Roberts. I was there in 2019.
It's estimated as many as 4 million Americans are unable to work because of long COVID. That's according to an analysis of U.S. Census Bureau data by the Brookings Institution.
I worry about my daughter because this is the time that she's supposed to be working and saving and doing all these things, but I'm in her budget.
As the public health emergency comes to an end, Roberts worries people will forget about those living with long COVID like her.
The public health emergency, it couldn't go on forever. And there was going to be a time that it had to stop. What do you say to someone who would have that type of opinion even when hearing your story?
If you had spots on your liver, sarcoidosis in your lungs, swollen lymph nodes in your lungs, COVID destroyed every single tooth in your mouth, would you want it to end?
As we finished our interview, I asked Roberts what her message would be to other long haulers who see this story and understand her struggle only as she does.
If someone's watching this and they, like you, have these long-term symptoms and they might feel alone or feeling forgotten, what would be your message to that person who's watching this?
Find your peace. Find your peace and talk about it. Don't be ashamed. Talk about it, because you can't heal what you don't reveal.
Scars, in her case, she believes will never fully heal. The end of the public health emergency triggered a potential crisis along our southern border. The reason? What was once a little-known law called Title 42. Before the pandemic, many asylum seekers were allowed to stay in the U.S. while their claims worked their way through the court system. When the pandemic began, then President Trump invoked Title 42. The law says, during a public health emergency, the U.S. can turn away migrants immediately. Now the public health emergency is over. So is the use of Title 42 at the border. That means people with a case for asylum have to be seen by a judge. Experts say, as a result, the U.S. could see twice as many migrants per day. Many of them say this is their only option.
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene viajando? ¿Hace cuánto salió de Guatemala?
Casi 40 días.
40 días. Ok. Bueno,
Mi familia ya no tiene comida, no tiene maíz. El maíz está muy caro ya, por eso venimos. Ya no tenemos solución.
Several Texas cities declared a state of emergency to prepare for a possible surge of migrants. Thousands of National Guard members were deployed to the border. They helped border agents with administrative tasks so those agents could be on patrol. But the crisis can be felt across the country. In Denver, city leaders are spending almost $1 million a week on migrant services. In Chicago, some people are being forced to sleep on the floor at city police departments.
We're running out of resources rapidly.
To make matters worse, the immigration courts, which handle many asylum cases, are severely backlogged. The average case takes more than 2 years to work its way through the system, and those cases often involve large families with young children, as we saw on a recent visit to a court in Denver. Audio and video recording are not allowed, but asylum seekers describe difficult circumstances and, in some cases, a years-long wait for a resolution. One woman said she's been in the U.S. for almost 2 years, time she spent waiting for the rest of her family and studying to become a paralegal in December.
They don't want to stay in Mexico, and that's understandable. Who wants to stay in Mexico if there is a lot of violence?
Washington is working on solutions. Congress is negotiating immigration bills, while the White House has put several stopgap measures in place to ease the burden after Title 42 expired. But advocates insist a more permanent solution is necessary.
Everyone's asking you to process faster. We need to stop just processing faster, and we need to have serious consequences for people breaking our law.
The race continues next.